Hello and welcome to Nigerian Fusions. Today we're preparing sausage roll. So here are the ingredients you will be needing. I got sausages from Asda. You might not have Asda where you live, but mine sausages are Cumberland sausages from Asda. I usually go for the good quality ones. So I've got my rainbow peppers, baking powder, sea salt, as well as flour, mixed herb. You know what? You can make it your own. You can add cinnamon. You can add nutmeg. It's absolutely up to you the way you want it. So to get started, I grilled the sausages in the oven. You can fry it, but I wouldn't recommend frying it. I wouldn't recommend you using it raw as well. So you need 2 eggs as well. I forgot to show you that in the picture. So now you measure out all the ingredients you will be needing. The flour, if it's two grams over is fine, 3 grams over is fine. Don't just make it 10 because that will not affect the quantity. So yeah, I've got my butter. I was showing you guys the way the butters are usually measured, so if you want to take, you can just cut it out. That's why those numbers are there for you. If you haven't got a scale, it's for people who do not have a scale. So what you want to do first is incorporate the butter with the flour. You need to give it a good mix because we want it a bit coarse in the end. You will see while I show you. So then you add the baking powder. You want to add the baking powder because you want everything to sort of incorporate very, very well before you start adding eggs or any liquid. Then you add a bit of salt. Don't add too much salt because flour already contains salt. You don't want to end up eating salty food. So you just need like a 1.18 teaspoon of flour. Then you add your mixed herb. Listen, you don't need to add mixed herb. You can add nutmeg, you can add cinnamon. It's entirely up to you. So I added some chili as well. Listen, I'm a Yoruba girl, so me like pepper very, very well. Thank you very much. So you know what, I just love to add different things to my sausage roll paste. As you can see, it's so fluffy in the hand. You want it to be like that before you start adding in any liquid. And I always recommend that you add eggs first before you start adding liquid. Otherwise you might end up having such a runny dough. So add the egg, then next you add in the water. You can add I would recommend that you always add water little at a time. Sometimes your eggs are big, sometimes your eggs are small, so that would affect the quantity amount of water that you need to add into your dough. I like my sausage roll very soft because it's a bit different to meat pie. Meat pie is not dry, but sausage roll can be a bit dry. So for that, I want my dough to be like proper soft. So when I eat it, I'm not eating dryness. I'm eating good pastry as well as tasting good sausages. So that's why you use good quality sausage roll. Look at how lovely this is. So now you need to put it in a cling film and leave it in a cool place to rest. If you're going to use it the very same day, do not put it in the fridge. Just leave it in a cool place. But if you're going to use it maybe tomorrow, then you can put it in the fridge. So we wrapped this up and left it for a few hours. I think I probably left it for about 3 to 4 hours because I was doing other things. When I enter my kitchen, I get carried away with doing so many tasks. So the next thing was I checked on my sausages. They were done. I decided to start peeling off the skin. Like I said, please do not fry the sausage. It's greasy enough. So I decided to take off the skin. You can leave the skin on, but I prefer to take the skin off. You can cut it into 2. If your sausage is very big, feel free to cut it into 2, or you leave it as a whole, depending on how greedy you want to be that day. Like if it's your cheat meal, you know what, do you, enjoy you. Do whatever works for you. Then in the bowl you need to put in an egg because we'll be using the egg as a wash. You can season the egg, but honestly it's not necessary for you to do that. Another thing that we need to now do is place flour on a clean surface, not dirty surface, so clean one. You put the dough there. Look at my dough, it looks so good. That dough looks so good. You know, dust with more flour. That's the good thing about when the dough is soft. You can have a way of manipulating it to become a bit harder compared to when you have hard dough. Then you do your meat pie, you find that it's so hard. You now start wondering what happened. Is because you've added too many flour at the very beginning rather than give it time. And you've not let it rest enough. It is important that when you make pastry, you allow pastry to rest enough. Anyway, so I rolled it out and cut off the rough edges because I wanted a straight edge. So I cut that part off on the 4 side. Then I laid the sausage. See, I had to trim them because we want to have them very straight at the end. You don't want like bulgy sausage. So I measured my sausage with the dough. As you can see, you want to leave a bit of gap. Then you cut it all the way to the end. From there on, you just do the same thing. You just keep on doing the same thing until you roll out all your sausage roll. Like I said, you can cut the sausage roll into two. It's entirely up to you. As you can see, this is how I did my own. I love doing voiceover over my videos because I want you to have an understanding of how you can do things rather than just like, even my daughter got into the action. That's my daughter's little fingers making her own sausage roll. She's like, Mommy, I want to help. I always encourage my children to help out in the kitchen. Even one of them says she really doesn't know why she doesn't know how to cook. That's because she's got other things she likes doing, but you know what, everybody cannot be the best cook, but she does know how to cook. Anyway, she makes a very good indomie, by the way. So this is my own sausage roll. Look at how pretty it is. My daughter's one is pretty as well. So you put everything on the baking tray and then give them a bit of space. Then you get your egg wash and egg wash over it. You want to brush it down. You can decide to use milk, it's up to you, or you can mix milk with egg. It's entirely up to you. I sometimes mix egg with milk, or I use milk alone. Then you put in the oven to bake for about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your oven. I don't really want to be giving. Anyway, this is what happened. So we had leftover dough and we decided to change it to chin chin. So for that, I added cinnamon, I added sugar, gave it a good... Excuse me, I just had to sneeze. I know I do not have corona. I gave it a good mix and then trim it out. You can add a bit of cornstarch to it. That would really work out. It will give it even a more crunchy texture. So we cut it out. Use your leftover dough any way you want. We just decided to turn our own into chin chin. So this was we making our remaining dough into chin chin. My daughter checked to see if the oil was hot enough. And while the oil was hot enough, we started frying. Pew, 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 pew. As a chopper. Anyway, that's the chin chin frying. We had leftover dough. In short, I almost forgot the chin chin on the cooker because I got carried away. When I'm in the kitchen, I'm doing multiple things. Like, you don't even want to know how many things I'm doing together. I'm doing like this, doing that. With 4 children is a lot of hard work to keep up with 4 children and to keep up with cooking and all that. So anyway, we decided to start taking. It was time to take out the shin from the hot oil. Our sausage roll was still cooking at this time, but listen, the chin was not important. Look at the way our chin looks. It looks so fantabulous. Anyway, we took out the sausage from the oven, and here we have it. Thanks so much for watching.